In multiplayer games, it's all about teamwork, right? Well, not quite. Many titles have communities that, instead of supporting one another, seem more interested in testing the limits of your patience. Here's a list of games where player toxicity has reached a whole new level. Let's get started. The Minecraft community has always been a mix of creative players and those who seem determined to ruin the fun for others. This was especially true on servers like 2B2T, where complete anarchy reigned and toxicity reached its peak. Griefing, destroying other players' builds, and cheating were the norm. New players often found themselves targeted by veterans who not only mocked them, but actively made their survival a nightmare. The lack of rules on such servers attracted individuals eager to push boundaries. Even cooperative servers weren't immune to toxic behavior. From resource theft to offensive comments in chat, players who just wanted to enjoy the game at their own pace often encountered trolling and unwarranted criticism. Despite this, Minecraft remained a game with immense potential for fun, though its toxic subset of players posed a significant challenge, especially for newcomers. The Rainbow Six Siege community has earned a reputation as one of the most toxic in multiplayer gaming. The game requires tight teamwork, but ironically, a lack of support and constant blame shifting are the norm. Players frequently hurl insults in chat, criticizing every decision or mistake, which can make the experience particularly unpleasant for newcomers. Friendly fire, intended as a strategic mechanic, is often abused for trolling or sabotaging teammates. Toxicity in Siege is also fueled by egos. Many players treat ranked matches as battlegrounds for their honorable place on the leaderboard, and anyone they deem not good enough becomes a target for verbal abuse. Adding to the frustration are cheaters and smurfs, which further divide the community and alienate players. Despite its brilliant tactical gameplay, the atmosphere in Rainbow Six Siege can be overwhelmingly hostile. The Rust community is the Wild West of gaming. This survival game, where everyone fights to stay alive, attracts players who seize every opportunity to destroy others. Griefing, base raiding, and relentless attacks on new players are commonplace. Many newcomers don't even get a chance to build a proper shelter before being ambushed, killed, and looted by more experienced players. In Rust, distrust becomes second nature. Interactions with other players often spiral into exploitation, and for some, the main source of fun is making life miserable for others. Voice and text chats are filled with insults and provocations, adding to the toxic atmosphere. While the game offers incredible potential for fun and collaboration, many players feel the community is its biggest drawback. The Valorant community is notorious for two things: intense competitiveness and equally intense toxicity. The game heavily relies on communication, but instead of fostering teamwork, the chat is often filled with insults and endless complaints about teammates' mistakes. If you're new or don't meet expectations, you're likely to become the target of snide remarks. Rather than offering constructive feedback, many players prefer to point out even the smallest errors. The situation is further worsened by the frequent presence of smurfs and cheaters. Experienced players dominating lower ranks not only ruin the fun, but also frustrate newcomers. It's not uncommon for players to abandon matches, sabotage their team, or intentionally cause chaos, exacerbating the already negative atmosphere. While Valorant is an excellent game, stepping into its world demands a thick emotional shield. The Fortnite community is a mix of younger players who helped turn the game into a global phenomenon and more seasoned users who aren't always the most patient. Toxicity often stems from constant mocking of less experienced players and excessive bragging about skills. Chat and voice communication are frequently filled with insults, trolling, and harsh comments, which can make the game feel unwelcoming, especially for newcomers. Another issue is the overly aggressive competitiveness. Many players strive to reach the level of professional streamers, treating every loss as a personal affront. Trolling in the form of team sabotage or mocking those who haven't mastered building at a professional level is also common. Despite offering fun and dynamic gameplay, Fortnite's community can turn the experience into a frustrating ordeal. The Overwatch 2 community, while filled with passionate fans, struggles with a serious toxicity problem. The shift to a free-to-play model brought in a wave of new players, but also increased the number of individuals more interested in ruining the experience for others than collaborating. Insults in chat, constant blame shifting, and a lack of patience for beginners have become daily occurrences. Frustration over losing matches is often directed at teammates rather than being used to improve strategy. Although a reporting system exists, many players consider it ineffective, allowing toxic behavior to persist without significant consequences. There's also a growing issue with trolls and players intentionally sabotaging matches for their amusement. While Overwatch 2 delivers intense matches, the community's atmosphere can be a significant challenge, especially for those seeking a more welcoming environment for cooperative play. The Counter-Strike 2 community, much like its predecessors, can be exceptionally tough to navigate. Servers are dominated by players who don't hold back on throwing insults in chat, especially toward less experienced users. Frustration from losing rounds often leads to verbal abuse, and teamwork tends to take a back seat if someone isn't playing up to the expectations of the group. For newcomers, entering this community can be a daunting and stressful experience. Cheaters and smurfs are another persistent issue, with experienced players dominating lower ranks and disrupting matches. These problems only fuel further frustration, amplifying toxic behavior. Despite the game's excellent mechanics and fast-paced action, the toxicity within the Counter-Strike 2 community remains a challenge for both players and developers, who must work to make the game more welcoming for everyone. The Call of Duty community is as energetic as it is toxic. In multiplayer modes, it's not uncommon to encounter players who prioritize trash talking and provoking others in voice chat over focusing on the game. While trash talk is a staple of competitive gaming, it often crosses the line into personal attacks, effectively ruining the fun. Trolling, team killing in modes with friendly fire, and harassing new players are everyday occurrences in many matches. Cheaters are another long-standing issue, especially in competitive modes, where they significantly disrupt the experience. The community often splits into two camps: those who treat every loss as a personal disaster, and those who go out of their way to make others miserable. Despite these challenges, the game continues to attract millions of players. If you decide to jump into the servers, be prepared for a tough environment where patience and a good sense of humor are your best allies. The Dota 2 community is infamous for its intense competitiveness, which frequently translates into toxic behavior. Matches in this game aren't just strategic battles, but also arenas filled with complaints and finger-pointing. Players who make even the smallest mistakes can expect a barrage of insults in chat. Many take the game far too seriously, forgetting it's meant to be fun, which creates a tense and hostile team environment. Another persistent issue is players intentionally sabotaging matches, refusing to cooperate, or abandoning games at critical moments. This frustration is especially pronounced in ranked modes, where the stakes are higher. Dota 2 is a fantastic game with deep mechanics and immense strategic potential, but its community can turn every match into a test of endurance and patience. The League of Legends community is one of the most infamous and toxic in gaming. Highly competitive matches often lead to situations where players take out their frustration on teammates. Insults, constant complaints, and blaming others for every loss are the norm in chat. If you're new to the game, be prepared for every mistake to be exaggerated and criticized in the least friendly way possible. Another major issue is players who intentionally sabotage matches, leave during critical moments, or troll purely for their own amusement. In ranked modes, the pressure to win only fuels negative behavior. League of Legends is an incredible game with deeply complex mechanics and strategic opportunities, but its toxic community can turn even the most exciting match into an unpleasant ordeal. These are just a few examples of games with communities notorious for toxic behavior that can easily ruin the fun of playing. Which titles do you think deserve a spot on this list? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.